Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining this live stream of our Career Clinic Hackathon series, a series of soft skill workshops that are going to be running throughout October, November, January, December and January 2021. Today, we're going to be looking at how to hack your CV, which is exciting. So here are some online meeting rules and guidance. Webcam is not applicable here, nor is the microphone. Do use headphones though, because it'll be clearer. Make sure you have your laptop and phone chargers next to you so that you don't drop out of the live stream. And if you have any questions, please write them in the chat section on either YouTube and on Facebook. And we will endeavour to answer these questions at the end of the session. Just to let you know that this session is also being recorded as well. So if you have to drop out early, that's not a problem. I'll circulate the session recording with you after it's finished via email. Okay, so today's agenda, how is it going to work? How are we going to hack your CV? Well, I'm first going to talk a little bit about who the Shortcut is as an organisation, then our community value, and then how you can get involved and stay connected. Then I'm going to go through 10 CV hacks. Then I'm going to give some best-in-class examples, I should say, of CVs. So I have 3 that I'm going to go through there. Then we're going to open up the session to a Q&A. And then I'm going to talk through some additional resources because this session was built off another session that was held earlier on in the year with 2 talent acquisition partners at Wolt. Lovely. So here with the Shortcut. So the Shortcut is the largest talent accelerator in the Nordics. So we equip talent, so people like yourselves, with the skills and networks that you need to either become an entrepreneur or work in a high growth company / startup. We do this by offering you loads of free activities. We're owned by the Startup Foundation alongside our sister companies like Maria01, /Junction and Wave Ventures, and we're not for profit, which means that any money we do make, we pump back into the business to best serve our community, which is you. One of our core values as an organisation is our community one. And we are for the people, by the people. So we help and support each other in our pursuit of employment, entrepreneurship, and giving back. By doing that, we create this lovely circle of good. How can you get involved and stay connected? Well, like most companies, we're on all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn. But one of the best ways to stay up to date is to subscribe to our newsletter, which you can do via our website. You'll get information on what we've been up to, what's coming up, and ways to get involved with the company. And all of our events and activities are free to join, and they always will be. There's a really low barrier to entry, so we'd love to see you at more of our events and things like that. Okay, so we can move on to the presentation proper now about how you can hack your CV. So I've got 10 tips here, and I'm not going to go into a huge amount of detail because these sessions are meant to be shorter and meant to get straight to the point. But if you do want to know things in more detail, you can ask questions and we'll go through the questions in the Q&A. But also there's the full 1.5 hour presentation that we ran back in July that you can watch, and I'll send you that presentation after this session. So hack number 1, use canva.com to create your CV. Why? It's free and it's got loads of really great CV templates. So you don't have to mess around with the formatting. You don't have to mess around with your font type or anything like that. You can just use one of their pre-built templates and it will look good. I think lots of people are using Canva these days. It's a great tool. Hack number 2. So put key skills that match the job description in your headline or in your short bio at the top of your CV. So the reason is that recruiters scan CVs. They maybe look at them for 1 or 2 minutes. And when they look at them, they're looking to see whether you have the skills that they've listed in the job description. So the best way to make it easy for them is to put them right at the top of your CV, right in the headline, and then they can't miss it. And one of the best-in-class examples that I'm going to show you later, someone has done just that, and it looks great. Hack number 3, tailor your CV for each role. Historically, this is something that maybe people didn't have to do, But now, because applying for jobs is so easy, companies get an influx of CVs, a huge amount. And to really stand out and to show that you have a genuine interest in the role and in the company, tailor your CV, give them a little bit about why you want to work for their company, but also only include experiences that are relevant for that role. Hack number 4, please keep it to 1 to 2 pages, no more than that. As I said before, recruiters only take 1 to 2 minutes looking at a CV. So, they're looking for someone that's concise and someone that meets the job requirements. So it shouldn't be longer than 2 pages. If you feel like you have lots of experience and you want it to be more than 2 pages, my advice would be in your experience section to say, for additional work experiences, check out my LinkedIn. And then on your LinkedIn, you can have all of your experiences. But for your CV, tailor it, keep it to 2 pages, only focus on the experiences that are relevant for that specific role. Hack number 5, do not use rating scales. They look lovely, they look really cool. But the thing is that when you have rating scales, and for some of the skills that you don't rate so well at, it makes you look bad at them. So if you're, saying that you're a native English speaker, and then you're also good at French, but your Finnish is terrible, and you use a rating scale, it's just going to highlight the fact that your Finnish skills aren't good. So do not use them. That's my advice to you. Because if you give yourself less than 5 stars, if you give yourself less than 5 stars, it doesn't look great. Hack number 6, and I've sort of touched upon this before, but do not include irrelevant experiences. Instead, add the sentence that says, look at my LinkedIn profile for additional experiences. That way that you can definitely keep your CV to 1 to 2 pages. And to be honest, recruiters don't want to know that you washed your family and friend's car when you were 15. I don't know if anyone else did that actually, but I used to do that. Just going to take a sip of water. Right. Hack number 7. After each experience, list your biggest achievement/learning. So often when people list their experiences, they give bullet points and they go into detail about what they did, which is great. I did this, for my day-to-day work. However, if you want to stand out, at the bottom of that list of what you actually did during the day, bring up your biggest achievement. So maybe you're working in sales and your biggest achievement was securing 100,000 euros in 1 month, in terms of client revenue. Make that clear. Maybe you're working in marketing. You're in an internship and you managed to grow like an audience by 20% while you were at that company. List it as your biggest achievement. It will make the list of things you did at your job more tangible for the reader. They can see how what you did related into something actionable and something beneficial for the company. So that's a really good piece of advice. Hack number 8, back up skills with practical examples. So a lot of the times when I read CVs, the bio at the top of the page says something like, I'm extremely organized and a fantastic communicator. Are you? Anyone can say that. I can say that I'm a superhero. I can say that I'm going to be the best CEO ever. But where's the proof? So if you're going to make a statement like that in your bio, you need to back it up with concrete examples. I'm extremely organized and a fantastic communicator. This is proven through my certification as a Prince2 project manager. There's the evidence. So prove it. Don't just make really sensationalist claims and expect them to believe it. That's also true for your cover letter, but we'll cover that next week. Hack number 9, align your CV and your LinkedIn. Recruiters rely heavily on LinkedIn these days, and in the future, LinkedIn might become the CV, and CVs might not exist anymore. Let's watch this space. But if they're not aligned, then it raises some concerns. So make sure that your CV and LinkedIn are aligned and they say similar things. And finally, hack number 10, give yourself a break. There is no such thing as a perfect CV. So don't spend hours making minute changes that will go unnoticed. As long as you've got the core and key things there, and as long as you take the time to tailor it, that's much more beneficial than messing around too much with the formatting and trying to get it absolutely perfect. So there are my 10 hacks, and that's taken us about 10 minutes. I'm now going to spend about another 5 or 10 minutes going through 3 best-in-class CVs with you. So CV number 1. Don't worry too much about the text itself, but this is from one of the HR interns at the Shortcut at the moment, Hannah Gay. And the great things about this CV are that it's a single page. It's visually clear and really well structured. It's really, really clear. Super nice. She tailors her CV to the role that she's applying for. So this particular CV was in recruitment and HR. What I also like about this is that her hobbies are listed. And often when people try and save space on their CV, these are the first things to go. But I would keep it there because it makes it more personal and it makes it more relatable. And if someone looks at Hannah's CV and also likes mushroom picking, that person's going to remember Hannah. So do include your hobbies, and it can just be a little list like Hannah's included here. Her strengths are really quick to find. So, if the role she was applying for here was looking for someone who was good at sourcing and copywriting, well, it says that she has these strengths here already. So it's quite easy for them to cross-compare, which is good. And then she's given a really thorough description of her work experiences, which is great. You can see here that she has like over 5 bullet points for each experience. So she's been very thorough and it's really clear what she did. There are a couple of things that she could do to maybe improve this. I would add her biggest achievements underneath each of her work experiences is one thing. And her key strengths I would put in the banner up here where it says HR professional. That would be my advice for Hannah. But this is a great CV. And this will be in the presentation that I send to you after this session. So you'll be able to look at this and have something to aim for your own CV. Now we're going to move on to Anna's CV. And apologies for the highlighting here. I made some comments earlier. I couldn't seem to remove them. But Anna's CV is 2 pages. That's absolutely fine. But I'm sure you can agree the structure and layout is really nice. It's really clear. It's not cluttered. And there's some really nice line breaks, which give it some structure. I also really like that she's used icons here just to stand out a little bit, especially with her hobbies and interests at the bottom. And that's a really nice touch. It makes her CV more memorable. She has her skills here again on the front page, which is good. I would perhaps again put them up in the headline, but that's just my preference. And what's nice about Anna's, and she's done it slightly different to Hannah's, is that she's written her work experience in continuous prose. So it tells more of a story. And that can also be a way of like engaging the person who's reading it. And actually storytelling is something that she's written in her bio. So yes, this is Anna's CV, another really good example of a good CV. And now I'm going to move on to the final CV, which is Michelle's, who is our marketing intern at the Shortcut at the moment. Michelle's is also 2 pages. She's limited it to 2. She's used colour a bit more than the other 2, which is nice. It gives it a good style. It makes it obvious. The great thing here is that she's put her key skills in the headline, which is so cool. And it's something that you can do on LinkedIn as well. I think it's basically just a copy and paste exercise there. But it just makes it really obvious straight away, like this is who Michelle is as a professional. I don't have to, scan or look very hard to work out like what her values and her skill set is. So I really recommend doing what she's done here. She's used some good visuals as well. So like this tools I like here And the languages I like, she's increased the size of the bubble or of the circle, depending on how proficient she is. But she has done something here which I recommended not to do, which is list her skills. And maybe now this visual can sort of help you understand what I'm talking about. So content marketing, okay, she's pretty good. Communication, also pretty good. Project management, yeah, okay. Problem solving, okay. Data analytics, oh, she's saying that she's okay at data analytics. And for me, like, why bother even allowing them to make that assumption? Just completely get rid of the rating scales and just list the key skills. And then like Anna, she's given a really thorough description of her skills. And what Michelle has done nicely here is that she's listed her achievements in the description. So she hasn't put it as like a separate bullet point at the bottom like I would, but she has made it clear. So she said, that she's maintained 80 to 20% monthly email newsletter. So that's an achievement. She increased engagement on social media by 8% every month. That's another achievement. So she's really utilizing the CV well, which is good. She's also included professional references, but actually on your CV, this isn't relevant anymore. You can just have like a section that says references available upon request. So if you're struggling to fit your CV on 2 pages, just make your reference section a single sentence. That's absolutely fine. So they're the 3 best-in-class CVs that I wanted to talk through and show you, and I think you'll agree that they're really good and they're very clear, and they follow the majority of the hacks that I went through earlier on. So we've absolutely whizzed through the 10 hacks for your CV and the best-in-class examples. We've done it in under 20 minutes, which is amazing. Which means that I can now go to the Q&A. So we have the lovely Sia1 who's moderating for me. So Sia1, do we have any questions that have cropped up?
Hi, hello, Stefan. Okay, so we have some questions from our viewers. The very first question is from Sebi. So can you show us some Canva templates?
Can I show you some Canva templates?
Yeah, for the resume.
Yeah, sure. So I can quickly go here. Canva.com. You can see it's logged in as me. Then you can go to the templates here. Then you should be able to go to, where's CV? Normally it's here. Resume, it's American. And they're all here. So you can create one from scratch and it's like a plug and play, or you can just use all of these ones here to build your own. So there are loads of different styles, as you can see. And they're all really nice and visually pleasing and not cluttered and like have good imagery. So you can see there's absolutely tons of them. Hopefully that answers the question.
Yeah, I guess so. And then there's a next question from Ava. So could you please share an email address so that they can ask you their questions like later on?
Yeah, sure. So Sia1, if you want to just type my shortcut email address into the chat function now, that's absolutely fine. So it's stefan@theshortcut.org.
Yes, I will do that.
Cool.
Yeah, I think that's it for the question that we have at the moment. Okay, so there comes another question from Martin. Should we include a photo in a CV?
Yeah, this is a really contentious issue. So I'm originally from the UK, and in the UK, we don't include photos on the CV. And the reason for that is that we were trying to eliminate unconscious bias. So people can be quite fickle and they can make really snap judgments just based on how people look. So to eradicate that, CVs in the UK were told not to have a photo. However, in Finland, it's different. The community is a lot smaller, The community is based on networks and it's based on trust. And having a photo helps build that layer of trust. So in Finland, I would recommend having one, although I hope that in the near future, they'll get to a point where they don't request it anymore. But yeah, do have one for now.
Okay, thanks for the answer. There comes another question from the SEBI. So thanks a lot for the Canva templates. How good are those Canva templates when automatic processing? Aren't they too tiring for HR? Because it's repetitive, might be.
So when you say automatic processing, I think what you're talking about is companies that scan CVs using like AI, artificial intelligence, maybe. And if that's the case, these Canva templates are fine. They're good. But when if you're worried about that kind of automation when scanning through CVs, just make sure you put like keywords from the job description everywhere in your CV, because that will make you rank really highly.
Okay, great. So the key is put the keywords.
Yeah. It's almost like a Google search.
Mm-hmm. So there comes the next question from Nguyen Long. So what tone of language should we use when producing a CV?
It should reflect who you are as a person. The more personal and relatable you can make it, the better.
Mm-hmm. But still keep a professional tone to it.
Yes.
Or should it be very personal? Or
so just by virtue of being a CV, it will be professional. But if you can make it slightly less professional and more personal, you'll stand out. So it will make it clearer. And some companies might not like it, but those are the sort of companies that maybe you don't then want to work for because they don't share the same values as you. So
okay, sounds great.
Some of the things in my CV are quite tongue-in-cheek, but I like having them there. And they always bring it up if I have an interview. So it's good.
Great. So the next question from the role, for those of us who are a little older with more extensive work history, how much detail do I need to include for the roles from probably 15 plus years ago?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So for those that have lots of experience, my advice would be just to pick 2 or 3 which match the role you're applying for the best and go into lots of detail on those 3, and then just have a sentence saying, I have more work experience listed on my LinkedIn. So detail and listing your big achievements for relevant experience is much better than just having lots of experiences that have little descriptions.
Mm-hmm. Great. Another comment from Joseph. So agree on the comment, like how good would they be at getting past ATS system? So it's again about the automatic system for the CV.
Sorry, can you repeat the question again?
So about the passing the automatic screening system by using the Canva template. So just another question from the Joseph again, that how good would they be at passing those systems when you're using the Canva templates?
I think that's difficult for me to answer. I'd just be guessing if I said like they're amazing, but they're often better than any sort of template that you try and make in Word and then convert to PDF. So Canva is slightly better. But yeah, sorry, I can't give a specific response. But yeah.
Yeah. Then we have the last question. I think it's the last question we have at the moment from Bell. I missed the first part, so I'm not sure if you mentioned this already. But her question is that for a candidate in other fields like finance and accounting, shall we use a simple platform or templates as you suggested? So what kind of platform would be good for the field in like finance or accounting? Or is it just regardless of any field?
Yeah, it's regardless of any field. Do you mean using the CV templates?
Yeah.
Yeah, as in, is there like one template which is specific for finance? No, I don't think so. No, I think it's agnostic, industry agnostic. You can use the template that you like the most and that you think will help you stand out the most. And I don't think it has to be one that suits the finance industry specifically.
Okay, I think that's the question we have for now, but if you have any question later on, there is a Stefan's email in the comment section. So just shoot your email, shoot your question. Okay, sorry, now we have another question from Sevi as well. So maybe there will be good to include one text paragraph template and Canva template. They're asking, I think we should adopt to the company we're applying as they might be more conservative. So that's just more of a comment from Sevi that.
Yeah, so like if you are applying for a company that's more conservative, then you should tailor your CV template to match that company. Yeah, you can do that, but do you want to work at a conservative company?
Yeah, that's another question.
Yeah, I mean, so that's a rhetorical question. But like, yeah, I think from doing this for a while now, people obviously want a job and they really want to go and work for companies, but they often forget that the power is also in their hands. And that is like, you know, your work is your entire life and it should be somewhere that you really like and somewhere that really reflects your values. So if you feel like you have to change your values too much, even in just by using a specific CV template, then maybe the place isn't right for you and maybe that's okay. But those are just like my philosophical thoughts. So yeah, take them with a pinch of salt.
Yeah. So we have a next question from Martin. As a fresh graduate, should I point out my education over my experience, or is experience is what matters most?
Yeah, experience is what matters most. So education is good to have there, but it's very much like a tick box exercise. So, okay, they have a degree in the area I'm looking for, tick. Your experience is what they're more interested in because that's if you're job ready and if you're going to be able to carry out the role that they're looking for in a suitable way. A lot of graduates don't have that much experience. And so my advice for those is then to draw on your life experiences instead. So you might have only had like one internship and you'll be like, oh, I don't know what else to put as my experience. But then it could just be like project-based stuff. You know, it could be I organised my society's graduation ball, and I was the project manager for that, and it had 100 attendees, and I managed a budget of 100,000, and everyone had a really great time. So that's not like an actual work experience at a company, but it's still an experience which is transferable and applicable to work. So you can draw on real life examples. Yeah.
Okay, sounds great. So it's more pinpointing those details, what you can, support the claims that you have on your CV.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's what we have for the question at the moment. Like I told you earlier, if you have more questions related with the CV cleaning session, shoot the question to Stefan. We have the email in the comment section. So I will leave the stage now and leave it to you. Thanks.
Thank you, Seowon. So yes, so we're coming up to the end of the session. Hopefully Seowon will have sent you a feedback form to complete based on this session. So please take the time to complete that feedback form because it helps me improve how I give these sessions, and then I can also like tailor it a lot more and make it more suitable for whoever has the session in the future. But just two more things. So additional resources. So this hackathon series was built off the back of another career clinic series that I ran throughout June and September. And that series, there were 10 different workshops and each workshop was 1.5 hours long. But I wanted to take the key takeaways from those workshops and distill them into this hackathon series, like just keeping it really short, keeping it really to the point, and just giving you really easy to implement examples. However, you might have lots of unanswered questions and you might want to know a little bit more about what recruiters are looking for in CVs. And so if that's the case, then we have the presentation and live recording of a CV session called Crafting Your Perfect CV workshop that we ran with Wolt back in July, the 1st of July. So it was with a couple of my friends, Krista and Kata, who are both talent acquisition partners at Wolt. Wolt is growing so quickly and it's really hiring, and they're hiring a lot of people. So you should go and check out their job board, but also check out the presentation and live recording, because they'll let you know a little bit more about the sorts of things that you can do to sort of be head and shoulders above the rest in terms of your CV and get past that first barrier. So yes, there's a recording there. Unfortunately, you'll have to see my face again. And then lastly, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. This is the first time that we've live streamed it. I hope it went okay. Sorry for those of you who missed the beginning, but when you live stream, you have to begin right at the starting point. You can't wait around. But yes, please do take the time to complete the feedback form, which should have been shared with you in the chat function now. And please do also take the time to come to next week's session, which is about how to hack your cover letter. So the format is going to be very much the same. It's going to be 10 hacks. Then I'm going to give you some best-in-class examples. And it's going to be about 30 minutes again. So really not that long, and hopefully some really good insight. And that's on the 4th of November. So next Wednesday. And then finally, if you're a professional or a company and you want to collaborate, you can reach out to us using info@theshortcut.org. And as Sarah already said, if you have more questions for me, or if you want me to review your CV, which I can also do, then you can send an email to my email address, stefan@theshortcut.org, which has also been shared in the chat function. So yes, that is it from me. Thanks for joining us. Have a really lovely day, and hopefully see some, if not all of you, next week. So everyone, feel free to take us down.